BBC News for London.
As you know, many Londoners have been galvanised into action as we see on our screens and read about and hear about what's going on in Ukraine. One man decided he'd go with a friend to take supplies to the border of Ukraine himself to see what was happening and help take refugees to safety. And he's planning to go back in a couple of weeks with his son. Paola Arrigo is the owner of the business Franchi Seeds of Italy in Harrow and joins me on the line. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, great to talk to you. So so many people watching. I can't believe anyone actually watching and listening and hearing what's going on doesn't think, God, what can I do? How can I help? But you decided to go to the area. Why did you do that?
Well, before I answer that, can I just say thank you to my wife and my kids and the sacrifice really that they had to make as well, because we couldn't watch another single TV report. It was just so upsetting that we all feel upset about it.
Yes.
And neither was, for me personally, sort of chucking 50 quid at a charity and forgetting about it. I just couldn't do it. And so this was right at the beginning of the conflict. I think we were one of the first few Brits out there. And I just decided, we just filled the car. I took some advice from a friend who's in the army, made sure I had all the right equipment with me. A friend of my son, Ali, rang up, Army cadet, and he said, can I come with you? I've got a few days off. So he rode shotgun with me, and off we went. And I've got to tell you...
When you say I made sure I had the right equipment, what's the right equipment for possibly being bombed or, stopped by a tank or arrested? Or, what kind of equipment could you take?
Right. This is not the front line. The border with Ukraine is not the front line. The front line is on the other side.
Right.
You're in an EU country. It's safe. However, the feeling there is a lot different than here. The people on the ground in Britain have been amazing. The government, not so. Very slow to react, lagging way behind the EU. But I have to say that it is... there's a sense of urgency on the border. See, what you're not seeing, what we're not seeing in the UK, we're not seeing every half an hour on the motorway another convoy under police escort, blue lights, another convoy under police escort, blue lights, tanks, fire engines, ambulances, all heading in one direction. NATO goods. NATO have pulled their finger out as well. So, and when you see it, I tell you what, it's very sobering. We were told to brace ourselves for what we were about to see at the border. Oh, wow. I mean, it's a very long drive. It's a very boring drive. It's very uneventful, really. You get there. We did. So our aim was to go in a car, not a van.
Right.
Vans are good for delivering aid, but then they come back empty because they only have 2 seats or 3 seats. Whereas going with a big car, let's say, we went with the sole purpose of bringing back refugees to the UK. That wasn't possible because only 1 in 100 visa applications are being accepted at the moment for Ukrainians, which is, I'm sorry, it's disgraceful. But whilst we were on the way out, we also took some aid. Does that make sense?
So what did you actually have with you when you went? You had, what was in the car?
Okay, so because we had a car with a boot, and people are really well-meaning and they keep bringing clothes and stuff, but, we've just got a car. So you've got to be really picky and take out high-grade stuff. So on the ground, we were asked for very specific things. Things like charged, mobile phone chargers, power banks. They need mobile phones that are fully charged and with leads. Unfortunately, our plugs are different, but if you give them the USB lead, they'll sort that out.
Right.
They need tinned food, but unfortunately, because of Brexit, we're not allowed to take meat or fish products to the EU. So that's a problem. They need quick dressings, and what I mean by that is things like tourniquets, bandages, gauze, very grim. So there's specific things that they need. They need adult nappies and baby nappies because lots of older people have been left behind and disabled people as well.
Oh,
so it's pretty grim.
So did you know all of this before you went? So
No. We did this as a recce. I was there on day 6 of the conflict, and it took me 26 hours, or it took us 26 hours to get out there.
Right.
So it's a very, very long trip. I mean, if you're going to undertake it, you need to get advice. I've produced a sheet of my experiences, and if anyone
you went not intending to really take anything there, hoping to bring...
No, we did. Yeah, no. We
what
went
did you? Okay, well, what was in the car? What did you take?
Those things that I said, medical supplies.
Oh, so you knew that before you went, and you did take those?
No, we took some stuff, but then speaking to Caritas on the ground, they said, look, these are the things we really need. We took clothes out there. They had a mountain of clothes, for example,
right.
And clothes just filled my car up. They need walkie-talkies, good walkie-talkies that they can give out to the groups. Because the aid is not just going to the refugees. The aid is also going to the fighters. But we went for the refugees as well. And so what happened with us is we got to the border. It's organised, but it's very chaotic. There are a lot of people coming through, and they need rides. And our aim was to bring some back to the UK with us. But as it happened, there was no one going to the UK, but there were people going in our direction, going back home-ish. And so we took a family of 3, 2 children. They were exactly the same age as my kids. You know, I mean, what can you say? We didn't speak their language. They didn't speak ours. It made no difference. They were so grateful. They had a horrible journey to the border. Their dad had to stay behind and fight, or he wanted to stay behind and fight for his country.
So where did you take them to?
So we picked them up at a place called Dorohusk, right on the Ukrainian border. You have to register with the police, and then you're assigned some refugees. And we took them about 6 hours to South Poland. It was kind of ish on our way home, a bit out of the way, but it didn't matter. The experience, the joy, the relief. I mean, you know, Mum was sobbing. We have Ukrainian friends and Polish friends in the UK, and we were calling our Ukrainian friends. And that's another thing. You know, if you're going to go out there, you need to have Ukrainian speakers on the other end of the phone. Very emotional. You know, our Ukrainian friend Ilana was amazing. She helped translate for us, along with Google Translate, which thank God for that. There were many tears. She was telling them what the Ukrainian population are doing as well. So, but this is 3 people. There's 1 million. That's 3. But that's 3. Think of Dunkirk, all those small boats that went out to Dunkirk. There were cars turning up from Sweden, from Germany, from Poland, from Italy, from France, from Spain, all turning up just like that, independently, like we did, but cars, not vans. You take out some stuff, you bring back aid out, people back.
Right. And does that mean you're going to do it again?
I'm doing it in 10 days. There is such a need, there's such an urgency, and the problem is growing. As I said, not everyone can do this. I had to take time off work. I run a seed company, and it's seed season. But I couldn't, in my own consciousness, I just couldn't go. Interesting. When we got back, we got stopped at customs in Calais, and they asked me when I handed the passports in, you know, they said, where have you been? We said, we've been in Poland helping the refugees. And they said, thank you very much. You know, that's amazing. You're going to get searched. So take your car to garage number 1. And the guys there, the police were incredible. You could see that they weren't interested. They had a quick look. They heard our story. They heard about the people, because these are people. And they said, yep, you're the 20th today.
Really? Wow.
Yep, and that was a week ago.
To anyone listening who thinks they want to do what you did, what can you advise them? What are the sort of top tips on being the most effective and helpful you can possibly be, and being properly equipped and being safe yourself, so that you can help other people, obviously?
Yeah, the Marines say 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Double up on everything. We forgot to bring a European plug, which meant we couldn't charge our phones in the hotel, but we could do it in the car until the cigarette lighter blew. And so, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Just double up on everything. If you want, I have made a list of my experience, how to get the refugees, how to sign up with the police. If people just go to my website, seedsofitaly.com, there's my contact details there. I'm Paolo. Just email me and I will email you back this document with everything you need to know. We took our goods to Caritas in Lublin,
yes,
which is about 60 miles away from the border. But even our hotel was collecting goods, but we wanted to take it directly to Caritas. And it's something that, I just had to do. And I'm pleased that I did it. And the support has just been incredible. But not everyone can do it. My point was, if we can save one person, it's been worth it. But if we can inspire others to get involved with the war effort, because I may not have gone to the front line, but I tell you that the border is a war zone.
Well, thank you very much indeed for telling us about it. It's hugely appreciated, Paolo. Paolo Arrigo there.